I've been in Japan for the last week trying to answer the question, is the Fujifilm X100VI worth the upgrade? I've been putting it to the test in street photography, landscape, portraits, details, and even video. So let's talk about what this camera is capable of. Maybe somewhere a little bit more zen though. Come with me. The X100VI is a huge upgrade in terms of what they packed into this camera. It's basically an X-T5 in a point-and-shoot body and price, which is incredible. To the eye, it may seem like absolutely nothing has changed about this body, because it hasn't. It is almost exactly the same as the X100V, but that makes it great to incorporate the existing accessories from the X100V, like the teleconverters, the UV filters, and the hoods. But I do wish that Fujifilm would have added a lock to the on-off switch. But on the inside, this is a whole new camera. The new sensor size takes the 26.1 megapixels from the X100V to a whopping 40 megapixels with the X100VI. That's a 1.5 times increase, which is huge when shooting on a fixed prime lens, and you need to get that right composition, and you want to crop in post-production. I've been using the X100V for a while now, and I found the best ways to transfer those images was through the Fujifilm app or the SD to iPhone adapter, which wasn't really ideal for video. But now Fujifilm has been incorporating their new Frame.io camera to cloud feature in all their new announcements, and luckily the X100VI is following suit. Fujifilm also added more film simulations to the list and better customizations for both photo and video. This is where creatives can really customize their look and stand out. Some of my favorite moments when shooting in Japan was getting to shoot portraits and details during a tea ceremony in Kyoto. That's where a small, less intrusive camera was key, especially when all I was wearing was a kimono and a tiny handbag. The X100VI was perfect. Something else I really enjoyed playing with the X100VI is long exposures. Something you can't really avoid when traveling is tourists in your shot. So I decided to embrace that and allow them to walk through my shot for a more interesting image. And with a tiny point and shoot, this is so much easier when you're not holding a heavy camera and a heavy lens, when you're not able to bring a tripod to those areas or attractions. And with the internal ND, you can go even slower during the bright day. I kind of love how these came out, and I plan to do this a lot more often, so I want to know which one of these was your favorite. Yes, I know I already mentioned the 40 megapixels, but what's really cool is now you can actually afford to use the digital zoom when cropping in camera when needed. My favorite accessory I got to use this week was a telephoto lens converter. And if you know me, I love to take portraits. So this really helped me get that telephoto lens compression to take my photos up a notch. And now you can use that accessory and the internal digital teleconverter to get even more reach, which goes to show how huge of an upgrade this camera is. The X100VI has in-body stabilization and records in 4K 60. For a camera that's intended for travel, on the go, and candid moments, this is huge. When I travel, I tend to shoot my videos in 60 frames per second, just to give myself more options in post-production. And now with the added IBIS, my videos should be perfectly still even after that third cup of matcha. Getting to play with the FUJIFILM X100VI has been so much fun. And the more I use it, the more I find new features and customizations that really make this camera a photographer's dream. So where do you plan on taking your FUJIFILM X100VI and how do you plan on customizing it? I'm Maria, and mite kurete arigato.